Improvise solo? Why would I do that? Well, I kind of wanted to play on this tune. It's a nice tune. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about my arrangement of Sweet Georgia Brown, which I did a few weeks ago. Threw a few tricks in there. Wanted to make it a little bit flashy. So to start out, I had the idea of just starting out with a simple Charleston rhythm, which is just like a one and of two thing. Duck 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 duck. And then with some a little bit of parallel motion in these chords every 4 bars to kind of give it a little bit more interest than just the Charleston. I continue that into the melody section, which we'll hear. And then this right here is a sort of rhythmic trick where you're taking that chromatic motion, all the parts are moving down chromatically together, but all in dotted quarter notes. So and oddly enough, that ends up creating a bar of 7/8, just because the number of dotted quarters I put in there. And now, coming up on the end of the first half of the form, I want to change it up a little bit because I've been playing the same background for a long time and not varying it hardly at all. So what's going to happen is in the melody and some of the harmony is going to continue with a bunch of dotted quarters in a row. So it gives that really hemiola feel. And I actually do have to change the time signature a bit to fit enough notes in. But while all the harmony and the melody is moving in dotted quarter notes, the two berries are playing a walking bass line with straight quarter notes. It gives it a little weird feeling, like what's going on here, until they land together. And that's what this kind of sounds like. So a little bit of craziness, and then they all join up together with that variation of that Charleston idea for the next half of the form. But this time it's in 7. Again, there are a lot of little tricks in this that I decided to use, and one of them was to have a bunch of meter changes to kind of throw you off balance a little bit. So after we're grooving in 7 for a little bit, I decide to mix it up a little bit and not just have the same thing for almost the entire half of the form like we did the first half of the form. So I ended up given the background parts, the melody, and a really rhythmically weird thing. I think it's all in 4/4. But with a variation of quarter notes and dotted quarter note rhythms to really make you not sure where the beat is, not sure where the melody lies, and kind of keep you on your toes a little bit. I also decided to make this part a little bit quieter for a little bit of variation and dynamics. It also makes it more interesting when the melody comes back in a bit stronger. So normally in the form right here, the chords go A flat 7, down to G7, down to G flat 7, down to F7, before going back to a normal 2/5. However, in this, I decided to keep that going a little bit, actually to the bottom of the berries range. So I extend that a little bit. Again, this is all just chromatic motion. Every part is moving down chromatically the same, with a little bit of an accelerando, a written out accelerando at the end. And now we're getting ready for the second chorus. So we've had that Charleston rhythm in 4. We've had the Charleston rhythm in 7. Now what I'm going to do is alternate bars of 7 and bars of 6. So it's kind of in 13. And it just how I treat the end of the second bar of 7/4 is the only difference. And I give you 4 bars of that, 4 bars of the alternating thing, so 2 bars of 13, to kind of get your ears acclimated to how this new groove is going to sound. And then as that's going on in the background, we bring in the melody over that. However, this time in the second chorus, we've already heard the melody once, so I'm going to elaborate on the melody a little bit. And what the heck is going on there? So just trying to stagger all those entrances so that everyone has only like 1 or 2 notes at a time, maybe 3. And it creates this line overall that it just moves around between the parts so much that it throws you off a little bit. And that little 2-bar madness break kind of sets up for us for this next part of the chorus, where I kind of continue that rhythmic trickery, should we say. Then we kind of join back together at the end of the chorus, more how you might expect the tune to sound, just to give your ears a little bit of a break from all the craziness. So this is a very unique solo section compared to what I normally write. First of all, I don't normally write solos, and when I do, I've usually written them out in the past for these octet charts. But in this chart, I got to this point in writing the chart and decided, I just want a classic solo section. And I love the tune. It's fun to play on. So I thought I'd write out a solo section for myself. Another thing that's kind of different from my normal charts is I end up writing out a walking bass line that alternates between the 2 Barry parts so that I can breathe a little bit. And the solo is improvised, and the backgrounds behind it are just long tones and pads. Really just trying to outline the harmony so that there's something there, but not distract from the solo too much. And I definitely wanted a show-offy break there, 4-bar break. And that's kind of all the faces I made was to kind of show like, oh, hey, this is really impressive. Because that's kind of what I wanted this solo and that, especially that 4-bar break to be. For the last 8 bars of the solo, I wanted to kind of bring it back to normal a little bit. Some more rhythmic ideas. Harmonies aren't anything complicated, just I think normal 7th chords. Maybe a flat 9 on some of the dominant chords. Keeping it simple and bring it a nice conclusion to the end of the solo section. Now this last chorus, I actually wasn't sure how I wanted to continue on after this solo when I was writing the chart. But I kind of had this idea of kind of like a collective improv thing where you have multiple people soloing at once. Again, it's all written out, so I had to think about how do I want to write this so that they're not stepping on each other's toes. So at the bottom of this collective improv section, we have this ostinato bass line, which just does this simple rhythmic idea that really just there to keep the time, not be distracting. And then to go with that, and again, try to just outline the harmonies, give it a little bit of time feel, but not distract too much. We have the second tenor in the Barry part. And then above that, we have tenor 1 and the two sopranos, which are kind of treated as like the horn line in traditional trad jazz band and early jazz band. So as you can see, all the parts kind of have a little bit of rhythmic interest in them. They're not just straight eighth notes the entire time. They try and fit some nice melodic phrasing, some add some space in there, and then especially with the two sopranos, trying not to stay in the same range as each other. So as the melody in the soprano 2 works its way up higher, the soprano 1 either has to stay above that or work its way down below that. Here's what they all sound together. We also have that 2-bar break with the two altos that were resting for that time. Then we get into this last section here where the altos take over the melody for a little bit. So how did I decide to end this? Well, so we have a lot of call and response here at the end, and then again, keeping with this, how I've sort of been treating this chromatic line near the end of each chorus. Just extending it down to that D flat chord, and then a bunch of call and response rhythmic hits, again to kind of throw you off a little bit. Rhythm was a big part of this chart, so why not end it with a little bit of rhythm? So I hope you enjoyed this analysis video of my arrangement of Sweet Georgia Brown. I am planning to do more of these, but not all of these will be public. I'll be posting a lot more to a Patreon page that I'm just starting. I'm planning on posting more of these analysis videos, extended analysis with some sheet music, maybe talking a bit more about voicing, some more about what I'm thinking about during the chart, and some more behind the scenes stuff. I'll be posting more extended videos like that to my Patreon page, which I'll link down in the description. If you're interested in buying the sheet music, I'll also link to that down below. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.